Welcome to the Bupa Foundation Personal Energy Session. I'm Anna Russell and I've been a personal energy coach for many years working with thousands of people. And I've also personally benefited from using this system to keep me in a good place, and especially during tougher times. So thank you for taking the time to take care of yourself. You know, you probably spend most of your time thinking about others, but we can only be at our best for others if we look after ourselves too. During the session today, you'll hear from several coaches who will guide you through the system. You can make notes using the workbook to capture your reflections and action plans. So let's start by watching a short video about personal energy.
Think about all the things you juggle every day, at work, at home, just in your daily life. Our energy levels greatly affect how we manage our day-to-day responsibilities and interactions with those around us. When we consciously manage our energy, we can achieve things more effectively, feeling more positive, in control, and connected to others. A bit of pressure is often a good thing that can help us to feel motivated and productive. But when we're not mindful of the choices we're making and allow our energy levels to drop, pressure, both too little and too much, can influence our overall well-being, changing our experience from motivating and productive to one that is either overwhelming or dull. Together, this shift in energy and pressure means we may not feel as able to look after the important things and people in our lives. The Personal Energy Programme is all about managing your energy with purpose so that you can successfully look after what's important in your life, including your own well-being. Personal energy has 3 important building blocks. The first is self-awareness. This starts with clearly identifying your personal motivation for managing your energy well. You'll consider the demands you're under, including those you put on yourself, and how you stay aware of your energy, including the warning signs that show you're drifting with the energy arc. In self-care, you'll look at the personal energy self-care habits and assess how effectively you're managing each of these areas, thinking about small, simple things you might be able to manage more effectively. Finally, in positive actions, you'll create a practical plan of the simple, sustainable things you'll commit to ensure your energy is well supported. In a nutshell, personal energy will help you stay focused on why it's important for you personally to manage your energy well, and the simple things that will keep you feeling balanced, well, in control, and energized.
So let's get started. It's really important to be clear about what is your motivation for having good energy, for keeping in a good place. And when I was first asked this question, I thought, well, that's simple. It's because I want to be a good mother, good at my job, a good colleague. But when I thought about it more, it is about all those things, but it's also about having the time and the space and the energy to do the things that put energy back in my tank. And these are simple things for me, like walking in nature, maybe doing a bit of gardening, yoga. So please take a moment now to think about, why does it matter to you to stay in a good place? And just make a note in your workbook. Also, bear in mind that your motivation for staying in a good place may change depending on what's going on in your life.
Hi, my name's Laura Boyle. I've worked at Bupa for 12 years and I've been a personal energy coach since June 2021. So we'll consider the things that place demands on your energy and what signs to watch out for to see if your energy levels are falling. These could be external demands, so that could be things like work demands, family responsibilities. If you're a carer, you could have some caring responsibilities, or you could have your own commitments in your spare time. And then we can also look at internal demands. So these are things that you place on yourself. So that could be being a perfectionist. Maybe you put others before yourself. You could be quite self-critical, or you could even feel guilty for putting yourself first as well. So just consider what your external and internal demands are. So by learning how to manage our energy, we can get back into our peak energy zone, which is the top of the arc. whenever we are feeling ourselves getting out of balance. So that could be where you move to the left of the arc and you're feeling too little pressure. You might be demotivated or bored, or you might move to the right side where you've got too much pressure and you may not have enough energy to deal with things. And that could be because you're feeling quite stressed or quite overwhelmed by what's going on. It is likely to change all the time due to your circumstances and what's happened that day. So it's always worth just checking where you fall on the arc and just have a think, where are you on the arc today?
Hi, my name's Carla Baird. I've worked for Bupa for 17 years. I've been a personal energy coach for 3 years. So we're now going to talk about early warning signs. Our early warning signs might tell us it's time to take action and get back into our peak energy zone. To make it easier to think about our state of energy and well-being, we break it down into 4 areas. These are thoughts, your emotions, physical changes in your body, or the way you're behaving. For example, things you're doing, but also things you might not be doing and maybe avoiding. It helps us to be aware of our warning signs, as it can help us to deal with what's causing them, as well as to prevent them by becoming more aware of the kind of things that trigger unhelpful changes in our body and how we are and what we're doing. Have a think about what your early warning signs could be. Take note of them, as they will change throughout the week and the year. And it's important to be aware of them to get yourself back into the peak energy zone.
And this is where we'll learn about energy foundations. These are the positive actions we can all take to support our physical and mental health. Before we do that, let's watch a short video about the impact that stress can have on our well-being.
Stress is our body's response when we're under too much pressure. We need some pressure to function well and thrive, but our lives are constantly changing and different pressures are always around the corner. Constant exposure to stressful situations can build up over time, leading to lower energy levels and poorer health. Depending on the situations we face, our bodies and minds react in different ways. The stress response is controlled by our central nervous system, which keeps our body in balance, responding to demands around us and helping us to recuperate afterwards. Cortisol is a hormone that's released when we experience stress. It gives us more blood glucose for energy. But producing cortisol over a long period of time can reduce other important immune and mood-boosting hormones. It can also lead to inflammation, high cholesterol, and heart attacks or strokes. Stress also impairs our ability to think clearly. When we're under stress, our rational thinking brain is hijacked and we're more likely to see things as being a threat to us. This affects our decision-making, social skills, and ability to learn new information. This is when we are most likely to make mistakes or act in a way that's not helpful for us or those we care about. Fortunately, we can build our resilience against the negative effects of stress by taking control of a few simple factors to help us stay energized. In this next section, you'll learn about the personal energy self-care habits. These are important areas which can all have a significant effect on your energy and cover things like how you make choices to look after your body, your time, as well as your mindset.
So it's pretty much impossible to avoid stress, but what is possible is to protect ourselves from getting overwhelmed by stress. What we're now going to do is look at the 9 self-care habits we can use to protect our energy, no matter what life is throwing at us. And these are divided into 3 sections. We're going to look at what we can do with our body, our time, and our mindset. We can all take some control in these areas, either to keep doing something well or do something effectively or consistently. First, we'll think about what we can do physically to build and protect our energy. Let's hear from some of our coaches.
Hi, I'm Jade Andrews. I'm the Pathology Operational Lead for Bupa Health Clinics, and I've been a wellbeing coach for the past 18 months. We're going to look at sleep today. Firstly, sleep is a very important factor in regulating energy levels and staying resilient to the stress and pressure in our lives. Sleep helps the body to regulate hormonal levels, alleviate stress, helps the body and mind to repair, enables higher levels of energy, focus, and creativity. Having a few nights of bad sleep can mean our focus and concentration goes. I know I'm definitely a grumpier person to be around if I haven't had enough sleep. So what does good look like? Well, research done by the National Sleep Foundation has shown that we all need somewhere between about 7 to 9 hours sleep per night. The quality of sleep you're getting is really important, so waking up feeling refreshed and ready to go. That's a clear and easy sign for all of us to notice. Not waking up in the night and finding it easy to go back to sleep. We know it takes about 90 minutes to get back into deep sleep, which is where restorative sleep occurs. Even though the National Sleep Foundation recommends about 7 to 9 hours per night, as long as you're waking up feeling refreshed and functioning, that's all that matters. So for some people, that could be 4 hours per night, and some people, that could be 10 hours per night. A few tips that I find it's really helpful just to slow down my bedtime routine before I go to bed. So just about an hour before bedtime, just keeping it calm, maybe reading a book or listening to some music. Setting an alarm to remind you to go to bed and trying to keep the same routine. So going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. So have a think about now what your sleep looks like. To what extent do you experience good quality sleep?
My name's Jess Lisbon. I've been a personal energy coach for the past 2 years and work in Bupa's sustainability team. So let's have a think about eating well. Eating a healthy, balanced diet helps us to sustain our energy. It also gives us important vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to keep the body and mind strong and healthy. Eating well helps promote better concentration, supports good sleep, helps to prevent health issues, and helps to maintain a healthy weight. So what does good look like? Regular meals and healthy snacks. The key is having a consistently structured diet, not eating snacks that are high in sugar. These are likely to drain mental energy very quickly. Minimal refined carbohydrates or sugars. Refined carbs include white bread, rice, pasta, all of which are digested very quickly into sugar in the body. We want plenty of fresh fruit and veg, ideally 5 a day, and to stay really well hydrated. So have a think, to what extent do you eat healthy?
Hi, my name's Claire and I'm a Bupa Foundation personal energy coach. My role at Bupa is Head of Community, so I help to lead the Bupa Foundation. So we're now moving on to talk about exercise. We all know that we should exercise, but do we do enough of it? Now, it's not for me to tell you to become the next Mr. Motivator or Joe Wicks. That's not what this is about. This is about thinking about what the right type of exercise is for you to build into your everyday life. It has such beneficial effects on our health and improves our mental well-being as well. Moving our bodies every day is a great way to boost our energy and our resilience too. On days when we do exercise, you'll probably notice that you feel in a much better mood compared to days where you don't exercise. So have a think about how much do you exercise at the moment. As a rule of thumb, we're ideally thinking about 150 minutes of movement each week. That could be whatever works for you. Brisk walking is enough for some people. For others, it's doing a high intensity workout. But what you can think about is, how is your breathing during that time? You should be getting your heart beating enough so that your breathing works up so that you can talk, but probably not sing. That's the kind of level of intensity that we're thinking about. So please complete your survey. To what extent are you physically active during the day? So we've now thought about the 3 areas within my body: our sleep, how we're eating, and how we move. I'd like you to think about, what are you doing well? And here are some tips that we can think of if there are areas that we want to improve on. Sleep is always a hot topic. So here are some top tips to help us sleep better. Going to sleep at the same time every night. Even if you don't sleep, just going to bed, into your bedroom and having a nightly routine can help you to kickstart your body into knowing it's time to wind down. Devices. We are completely wired individuals now. Think about how many devices you've got in front of you. Obviously, the one that you're watching this video on, but maybe you've got a phone as well, an iPad. We're wired into devices. If we can leave them outside of the bedroom, it really, really helps us to get a good night's sleep. Eating well. The biggest thing that people tell us is that planning their meals helps them to stay on track with eating well. So if you can, maybe do some bulk cooking, do your meal plan for the week so that you know what you're going to have and when, rather than leaving it to the last minute when you're really hungry and reaching for the nearest thing in sight, which is usually something that's unhealthy. Where you can make a healthy choice, a conscious healthy choice, wholemeal breads and whole pastas, and particularly thinking about the snacks. Sometimes people have really healthy meals, but what they're eating between the meals is not helping them stay in a good place at all. So thinking about some nutritious snacks that you can have, or if you do choose to have the chocolate bar or some biscuits, you really enjoy it. Don't eat it mindlessly. Consciously have that and enjoy it, and enjoy the taste rather than shovel it down. And then exercise. We all know we should exercise, but do we do enough of it? Maybe you could think about doing exercise with somebody else to help you stick to that commitment, and make it something that you enjoy. A walk with a friend can count as your exercise. And build movement into your everyday is a really, really great way to make sure that we move throughout the week, not just in our weekends and our holiday time. Could you walk instead of drive to drop the kids off and pick the kids up from school? Could you go for a walk at lunchtime, even if it's just 10 minutes, if you're working from home around the block or in the office or wherever you work? That all counts as your daily movement. And the third biggest tip that we have is think about when you're going to exercise during the week. How can you claw out some time to factor in your movement? If we don't make a conscious decision as to when we're going to do it, we get to the end of the day, to the evening, 8, 9 o'clock at night and think, I haven't done whatever it was today. And it's because we've not planned it in. Thank you for completing the My Body section. I hope it's been helpful for you to think about the habits that you have and possibly some areas for change.
We'll now start to think about how we spend our time. It's so important to carve out time to rest, relax, recharge. Top athletes now have rest time built into their schedules to help them rebuild their energy to be at their best. It's also a boost for our well-being when we make time to connect with our friends and family. Have a laugh, share the load. Let's listen to some of our coaches.
We're going to look at relaxation. Making time to relax has a positive impact on our energy. So relaxation can reduce anxiety and other mental and physical stress symptoms. It slows our heart rate, reduces blood pressure, and relieves mental and physical tension. It aids our ability to focus and take perspective on challenges, and it supports good sleep and can help create a calmer state in both the body and the mind, aiding better quality sleep, positive thinking, concentration, memory, and decision making. So what does good look like? We're just trying to build it into your everyday routine. So take regular breaks where you're completely unplugged. This can be from short breaks during the working day to longer activities outside of work. Planning relaxing activities regularly during the week, and using even small amounts of time just to unwind, so just 5 minutes here or there. Taking a 5-minute break away from the screen can help refresh you and motivate you, and actually get the task done even quicker than before you took the break. You might want to consider using your commute time to help switch off rather than dwell on the day. So listen to some music or a podcast or ring a friend, and that can really help the mind to stop thinking of the things that we should or shouldn't have done. One thing I really like to think is that different activities will be relaxing for different people. There's no one size fits all. So just spend some time finding the activities that help you relax and unwind and make you happy, and just try and prioritise these. And that could be listening to music, reading, doing some yoga or meditation, getting creative and doing some painting. The list is really endless. So just spend some time thinking about what helps you to relax and just build that into your daily routine.
Let's have a think about how we spend our social time. Having strong, positive social relationships is good for our health and happiness. A positive relationship can be between any two people who support, encourage, and help each other practically as well as emotionally. These aren't just the relationships you have with your partner, family, and friends. It also includes the connections you form with work colleagues, neighbours, and other people throughout your lifetime. Did you know that having good social connections is as good for our health as smoking is bad for it? It's been associated with having around 8 years longer life, whereas being a lifelong smoker has been shown to reduce life by around the same amount. And obviously smoking is also likely to dramatically reduce your quality of life as well. So what does good look like when it comes to social time? Talking regularly with a few people about what's going on in your life, having specific people you can trust and feel strongly connected to is so much more important than having large numbers of social acquaintances. Also spending time doing fun and social things with other people regularly, and having someone you trust if there's something you're really struggling with. So have a think about this question. How often do you spend time with people that you have a positive relationship with?
We're now going to recap on my time and share some ideas and tips on what people find works for them. So from a social perspective, it could be booking in a catch up with a friend and really aiming to stick to that. It could be connecting with your local community, checking in with a friend that you've not spoken to recently to see how they're doing. And from a relaxation perspective, it could be doing some simple breathing activities for 5 minutes, listening to some relaxing music on your commute, or just taking a walk in nature.
The final section is managing our mindset. We all make choices about what we eat, our exercise, our downtime, and we can also make choices about how we think. But like anything else, it's a muscle which we need to keep in shape and keep practicing. We can all have a few things in our toolkit which help us get back into a better place if we're feeling overwhelmed or low, or simply some things that we can do to boost our mood and keep things in perspective. Let's hear now from some of our coaches about some of the techniques we can use.
Hi, my name is Kugan Kalagamanathan. I work within change and transformation at Bupa. I have been a personal energy coach for a number of years. Reframing. Your mindset is the way you think about something. Creating a different way of looking at a situation, a person, or a relationship is called reframing. This is an extremely useful skill to learn to help us navigate relationships, solve problems, learn new things, and make decisions. When we look at something from a different perspective, and reframe in a positive way, it helps us to stay resilient when we face challenges. Change perspective. What is the best scenario? What is the most likely outcome? Will this matter in a year from now? Is the thought unhelpful or unkind? Can these be let go? Adopt a growth mindset. What can I learn from this? Can I do something about it, or is it out of my control? Practice self-compassion. Am I being overly critical? What would a friend say or do in this situation? Or what would you say to a friend in the same situation? How often do you practice reframing? Looking at things from a different perspective. Focus. Staying focused on the task in hand and not getting distracted is a key way to managing our energy levels. When we focus on one thing at a time, our subconscious helps us finish the task quicker and more easily. It is very hectic in the modern world with lots of modern technology to stay focused. Staying focused helps us to be more productive, create better quality of work, reduce stress levels, and helps us feel happier. How often do you stay focused on one task at a time?
Hi, my name's Pete Calcutt and I've been working with Bupa for approximately 4 years. I've been working on the personal energy sessions for about the last 3 years and they've truly become a passion of mine. Having an outlook of gratitude is linked to higher levels of well-being, as well as being very protective for mental health. It does this by focusing our mind on areas that give us satisfaction in life, by helping us to keep problems in perspective and promoting connection to others and the world around us. Gratitude helps us to focus on positive experiences, which can improve well-being. Regularly reflecting on the things and people we are grateful for can help us feel happier and more satisfied. Gratitude reminds us what is truly important to us as individuals. This may be family, friends, your health, your home. Whatever you choose, it is personal to you, and you should encourage yourself to think about these things regularly. There are different approaches to expressing gratitude. Some internalize it and create a habit to consciously focus on areas of their life they are grateful for, whereas many people who practice gratitude write down their thoughts. For example, they may keep a journal that lists 3 good things that they are grateful for every day. Whichever way you do it, practicing gratitude helps you to have perspective in your life. Try to create a small amount of time each day to consider what you are grateful for. Even a short 5 minutes generating positive gratitude can be very beneficial for your well-being. So, to what extent do you regularly recognise things you are grateful for? Take a few moments to think about how you recognise the aspects of your life that you are grateful for and how you can start to be more grateful to yourself, others, and the world around you. Perhaps the most important area is that of permission and giving ourselves permission for self-care. If we don't give ourselves permission, then how will we make time to relax when others are placing demands on you? How will you take time to feel gratitude for the positive aspects and people of your life? How will you allow yourself to eat healthily, sleep well, and exercise appropriately? If you don't give yourself permission to do these things, then it will be very hard to make positive changes to your personal energy. In order to stay resilient and cope with life's demands and responsibilities, we need to prioritise taking care of ourselves. When we do this, we create positive feelings, boosting our confidence and self-esteem. Ensuring we take time to look after ourselves reminds us that our well-being helps us stay in good shape to look after the important things and people in our lives. It also acts as a prompt to take responsibility and make positive choices. Taking care of ourselves is a choice we need to make on a regular basis to maintain our health and well-being. You need to give yourself permission to look after yourself and make time to do the things that energise you and keep you well. A great way to start is by finding regular slots of time to do things that boost your energy. Small actions to take control in this way are beneficial, as are the things you use that time for. You could also actively manage your energy to prevent yourself drifting. Maximise self-awareness is key to this. A further suggestion would be to recognise your warning signs and respond accordingly. And remember that sharing these signs with others to gain and give social support can be hugely significant. The final time, how often do you prioritise time for self-care? Take some time to reflect on the areas we have looked at to understand what you do well and what you can focus on to improve your personal energy. If you are in groups, share some tips about these 4 areas. If you're on your own, think about your experiences so far and identify ways you can improve these moving forwards. What have you tried and what works for you? Is there anything that you struggle with that you could ask for others' help with? Do you express gratitude to others as much as you could? Do you allow yourself to feel gratitude? Now is the time to give yourself permission to look after yourself so that you are in a better place to help others.
Congratulations. You'll have probably identified some things you're doing well, which keep you in a good place. And that's great. The trick with those is to keep on doing them and often. You probably also identified some areas you'd like to focus on.
We're now moving on to creating our personal energy action plans. We're going to think about all the things we've spoken about and write them down so that you've got a concrete thing to take away. We spoke to the behaviour change experts at Bupa to help us think about these are the things we want to change, but how do we build them into our daily lives? So I've got a short video to play for you to hear from our behaviour change experts.
We all have good intentions, but it can be difficult to stick to them. When we're thinking of choosing a personal energy goal, it's important to choose something that will be achievable and sustainable and that we look forward to rather than dread. Bupa's behavioural change scientists have some top tips for choosing the right goals for your personal energy plan. It's all about finding the right motivation and planning time to make it happen in a way that works for you. You have to be motivated to make a change, which means doing it for the right reasons. Consider what your personal motivation is for making this change. It's no good saying that you're going to do something if it isn't going to work in practice. You need to be realistic. Can you free up more time by changing bad habits that waste your energy? This will give you more opportunity to make the positive changes part of your daily routine. It's important to think about your capability, physically and psychologically, to make the change you're planning. Challenge yourself too much and you're unlikely to stick to the plan. So start small and simple and build from there. Make your goal something you feel capable of doing, but challenging enough to keep you motivated. Check you have everything in place to support you before you start. Do you need to learn a new skill? Do you need your family, friends, or colleagues to do anything differently? Remember, no plan is perfect. Unexpected things will crop up or get in your way. So plan ahead and don't beat yourself up if you don't stick to your plan every day. Be kind to yourself. What would you say to a friend in the same position? The most important thing is to get back on track and keep going in the right direction. And don't forget to celebrate small wins along the way with a weekly treat or special reward. So choose the right personal energy goal for you. Make it realistic, and remember that even small changes can make a big difference in your life.
Great to hear from the Bupa behaviour change experts. Now, looking across the 9 habits that we've spoken about today, I'd like you to think about the area you want to focus on. We're not going to tackle all 9 of them today. That would be setting ourselves up to fail. Think about the 1, possibly 2 areas that you want to hone in on. It might be something that you're doing really well. Maybe you've got a really good bedtime routine and it helps you get a good night's sleep every night, and you want to keep hold of that because you know it helps you stay in a good place. That's great. That could be your action. Or maybe it's something, when you look across the survey that we did, maybe it's something that you're doing not very often that you want to prioritise and bring up your personal agenda so that you can do more of it. Maybe social time, thinking about when you're going to connect with friends to be able to relax and enjoy yourself. Whatever your thing is, please could you write it down in your personal energy action plan. And importantly, think about when you're going to do this thing. Think about when during your working week are you going to be able to carve out some time to do your thing. Evidence shows that people that carve out time during their working week to prioritise their well-being have more energy. They have more energy for life, for work, for all the things that they want to do. It's much better than storing up our well-being for the weekend and our holidays. It means we're going peaks and troughs of energy. What we want to do is keep our energy in a good place all the time. Thinking back to that energy curve that we spoke about, we want to be at the top of the curve as much as possible. And then whatever your thing is there anything you need to do to help you start? If it's to do with exercise, do you need to dig your trainers out of the cupboard? Whatever it might be. And is there anyone that you need to ask to help to support you? If your goal is to do something on a Wednesday evening with a friend, maybe it's a football club or a yoga class, or leaving on time that day to be able to eat a meal with your children, whatever it might be. Is there anyone that needs to know that that's your goal? Maybe it's your boss you need to speak to say, Wednesday is my day that I'm leaving on time. Is it your partner to be able to work with them to make it happen so that you are free to attend whatever it is that you're doing? What is it that you need support from others with to make your goal happen? So what is your thing? When are you going to do it? And what support do you need to make it happen? And please be as specific and as simple as possible so you can keep hold of your goal and really make it happen. This personal energy action plan is something that you might want to revisit from time to time. So please don't overthink this too much. It's something that you can write down for today and make happen for the next few weeks, but then maybe you'll want to come back and tweak it and focus on something else in the future. So good luck with whatever your action is, and I hope it helps you to keep your energy in a good place.
So we've made it. I hope you've come away with a commitment to take care of yourself. It's so important to prioritise our well-being every day and not just save it up for weekends or holidays. So please take a moment each day to notice how you're feeling and where you are on the personal energy arc. And if one of your early warning signs is coming up, then that's your signal to do something to get back on track. To keep in a good place, commit to doing the things that protect and build your energy and make you feel good. And don't beat yourself up if occasionally you let things slip. We're all human after all. The Energy Foundation's questionnaire and your personal energy plan are always there for you. So come back to it whenever you need them, especially if something has changed in your life. Thank you for taking the time today to do this. Best of luck, and please take care of yourself.